I've got some positive news for you out there. There is an animated film that you can see this weekend. It's Miyazaki's new film, The Boy and the Heron, and it is in theaters now. We got the early access screening yesterday, but it is now opened for the Thanksgiving weekend. And Alan, tell us, what is the story of The Boy and the
Yeah,
Heron?
you might want to tell this one, and you'll
Well,
soon find out why.
why? Why?
Why?
You know,
Because I think you got a better grasp of the story than I did.
well, the
That's why.
story's really story's pretty simple. It's about a young boy, Mahito, and the opening scene of the film, he loses his mother in a deadly fire at a hospital. He races to her aid, doesn't make it in time, and his mother dies in the fire. Uh, and effectively, years later, his father is about to be remarried to kind of a new mother, someone to kind of act as his new mother. And there is a spirit from another realm that is inhabited by his mother that comes to talk to him in the form of a bird. And his mother kind of takes on a lot of is represented by things in this spirit realm. And it's effectively, if you are familiar with Hayao Miyazaki's films, they're whimsical, fanciful, and sort of toe the line between a kind of depressing reality along with a fantasy world that's brought to life. This is no different than that. Someone who I know describes this film as kind of a it's like a Miyazaki's greatest hits. It's the kind of thing that he's known for. And I love this film. I saw it for a second time last night. It's what's interesting about this movie is kids can watch this movie because it's an animated movie. Kids can watch the movie, but adults can also be entertained by this movie. Right? It toes that line between, like, it is almost 2 hours, but it toes that line of, like, it's this fantasy world, but also with this harsh reality of a boy struggling with the loss of his mother, trying to fit in at school. He's bullied by kids. It's a very relatable film. And when he kind of crosses over into this fantasy, that's not an original idea. It's like Wizard of Oz, right? There's the real world. You're dealing with problems in the real world. You go into the fantasy world, and in the fantasy world, you're working out your problems from the real world. That's the gist of it. And Mihati is this. He's a Mahito. Sorry, is a precocious 12-year-old boy who's now dealing with the death of his mom. And when he crosses over into this other world, it's a completely different set of rules. It also has just a bizarre sense of humor, like Miyazaki has in his films. Alan, what did you think of The Boy and the Heron?
Yeah, part of me wishes you don't set things up like this.
Why?
Because okay, I'm gonna take the unpopular opinion here.
What?
I don't get Miyazaki.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
oh my
Okay.
gosh. I mean, literally, if I hadn't been seeing if I hadn't hung out with you guys before this screening, I
Right.
probably would have walked out halfway through. It is, and I hate to say it, I just never got the. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's beautiful, it's poetic, but that's just not what I'm. It's like I sit there and watch. I keep thinking to myself, what is it that people are seeing in this that I'm not seeing? And
Can I
this
explain
is
it?
certainly true with The Boy and the Heron. I mean, because you kind of like when you see a title like The Boy and the Heron, you expect the heron to be kind of this beautiful, magical, majestic creature, and it's just this weird, ugly guy who's kind of morphing back and forth between him and the heron. And I get it. Like the first movie I saw of his was Spirited Away, and it was just like, what is this? What is this nonsense? And it really wasn't. The only movie that I got of Miyazaki was Secret Life of Arrietty, because it was a straightforward narrative based on an American novel. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say some bad things here. Like, I Miyazaki to me is a little bit overrated. I think there's a specific audience for it, and it's like I mean, I don't mean to insult you here, but it's like when you walk into an art gallery and people start talking about the colors and the composition and all this stuff, and all you see is a big uh, paint splatter on on a canvas. That's kind of how I feel when I hear discussions of Miyazaki. Um,
Well, here's
I
what I'll
know for
say.
sure your daughter was very pissed off when when I was saying all this stuff, and
She enjoyed the film. She
she
goes,
I know, and again, don't let me stop you from enjoying this movie. Uh, but looking at the chat here, I know that I'm not the only one who thinks this way.
well, first of
And
all, I do agree with you. Miyazaki is an acquired taste. It's an acquired like Mr. Howell, what's his name? Howell's Moving Castle. Is also another one of those. I saw it recently. Unfortunately, I saw it in the theater with a dubbed version. I didn't know it was dubbed. I thought it was subtitles. And Christian Bale and Billy Crystal do voices. It's not very
yeah,
good. The dubbing is, but
well,
I
I mean,
really
I have to
like
say,
it. They're like these.
Like Totoro. Everyone was telling me for the longest time, Totoro is the greatest movie ever made. And then I'm watching it. I'm going, what am I missing here? I mean, it ends on a cat bus, a journey on a cat bus. And I didn't get it. There's themes and higher themes and all this other stuff, and I'm like, I just don't get it. I'm sorry. And I was telling a friend of ours, it's like they're going, why are you like this? And I go, and the only excuse I can say is I've probably been away from Neverland too long, and
Right.
it's just yeah. Okay, so go
Look,
ahead.
look. Okay, we're
Talk
gonna.
about the greatness of
The
Miyazaki.
thing is this: you've got two opinions. Alan didn't like it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and even better the second time. Because it is a little weird. I do believe that his movies, Miyazaki's movies, because there's so many layers to it, they improve upon multiple viewings, and you can actually. I feel like I get more out of it upon second and third viewings of his films. But look, here, I have one question for you before we go to the chat comments.
Okay.
Alan, is The Boy and the Heron better than Wish?
Yes, it is.
There you
Look,
go.
look, from
Yes.
it's a better animated movie than Wish. It's a better story than Wish.
All right.
You know,
There we go.
at least at least while watching Boy and Heron, the thoughts in my mind was what the hell is going on. At least I was engaged in that way, as
All
opposed to
right.
sheer boredom.